Welcome to something to talk about. Welcome to something to talk about.
There you guys go. That's my new intro of my daughter. What she is saying is, welcome to something to talk about. And we are talking Rhea Royce. So let's go. Hi, welcome. Believe it or not, that is the best take I could get of my 3-year-old trying to say, welcome to something to talk about. I think she did pretty good. So, yeah. All right, like I said, so we're doing our let's talk about the difference for Rhea Royce. And yeah, this is a good one. I wanted to kind of cover some more House of Dragon characters, but it's kind of a little different here. Let me be very unprofessional and adjust my mic while I'm filming. That's pretty smart, right? There we go. It's not even the first thing I'm filming today. I just didn't do it earlier. I want to do a House of Dragon characters, but a lot of them are still kicking and they're still going to be alive when season 2 comes out, in the future in season 3 and stuff. So this one isn't so much like Lyman Beesbury. I know what they did with them, and much like Lyman Beesbury, it's mostly the death. So it seems like in House of the or in Fire and Blood, they kind of left certain character death spoilers ambiguous, right? But in the show you can't be. Well, you can be, but in the show it's a little harder to be ambiguous, right? We see it happen or we don't, and if you show it, you have to choose. So like why Lyman Beesbury, they had to decide which way Lyman went. In this one, it's no different. So yeah, let's just go. So we're going to talk about House Royce. So I'll make sure you guys know all about House Royce. And then I have 2 slides on her in the show. And then I actually only have 3 slides for her in the book. And then I'm going to cover the major differences of the characters. So, yeah. Let's just go. So House Royce House Royce of Runestone is an old and powerful noble house of the Vale, sworn to House Aaron. Their seat is the castle Runestone, located on the coast of the Narrow Sea, north of Gulltown, and they also have a cadet branch occupying a non-hereditary seat, Gates of the Moon, which located in a path that leads to the Eyrie, the Gates of the Moon. Yeah. Royce of Runestone blazon their arms with black iron studs on bronze bordered with runes. Their motto is "We remember." We remember. All right. No one's gonna get that reference. So let's just discuss good old Rhea in the show. You guys know the Bronze Lady. I won't call her by her other name. In the television, I will soon. We're gonna get to it. You already see it in the television adaptation of House of the Dragon. Rhea is portrayed by Rachel Redford. Lady Rhea Royce was a member of House Royce, believe it or not, and heir to Runestone during the first half of the reign of King Viserys I Targaryen. She was the estranged wife of Prince Daemon Targaryen. She remained mostly unseen during the first part of the first season, only to be spoken by Daemon and called his, quote, bronze bitch. Later, Viserys commands Daemon to return to Runestone to be with his wife at once, though he takes Mysaria with him when he departs on Craxus. Yeah, he goes, go back to Rhea Royce, and that's what Viserys says. And Daemon goes, no, I'm just gonna take my my lady Mysaria and just go to Dragonstone instead. After the debacle on Dragonstone, that's what I'm talking about. When Daemon tries to take Lady Mysaria as a second wife and lies about her being preggo, he goes to the Stepstones for war. After the war, he comes back to court, and rumors reach the king of Daemon's affair with Rhaenyra. Daemon asked to marry his own niece. Viserys points out that Daemon is already married. He asked to take another wife, much like the Conqueror did, but infuriated, Viserys tells Daemon that he is merely a plague and commands him to go back to Runestone. Just go back to Runestone. You have a wife. He's like, she's ugly, and we're all like, no, she's not. We've seen the episode; she's gorgeous. All right, Rhea rides. All right, so the show. So now we're actually going to cover Rhea. Rhea rides out to the field of the Vale to hunt for deer. She encounters a hooded Daemon blocking the passage to Runestone, back to Runestone. She's sarcastically wondering if he is there to consummate their marriage, referring to his insult that the Vale's sheep are more prettier than its women. That's something that he says a lot. Then reasons that perhaps Viserys has had enough of him in King's Landing and has sent him there, mocking his right as heir being revoked in favor of Rhaenyra. Daemon remains silent. He doesn't talk at all during the scene and tries to approach her horse, frightening it and making Rhea worry. Oh my God, I can't talk. All right. She reaches for her bow, but the sudden actions and Daemon raising his hand causes the horse to fall onto its back, throwing her to the ground and breaking her neck. Daemon realizes she is now paralyzed, and Daemon walks away. She insults him for not being able to finish her off, which is like a sex joke. In response, he picks up a large rock and approaches his helpless wife before bludgeoning her to death. Wow! Rhea's passing is reported to her as her falling from her horse and breaking her skull and neck. Came as a shock to many, as she was known for her skills as a rider and a hunter. Later, at a wedding, Rhaenyra and Laenor's, I believe, Gerald confronts, Gerald is her cousin who talks to her earlier. I didn't mention that. Confronts Daemon for his cousin's death, which Daemon calls a tragic accident. Gerald accuses the prince of being involved in her death, but Daemon instead talks about his inheritance. Following Rhea's death, Daemon smugly mentions that following Rhaenyra's wedding, he will fly back to the Vale and petition Lady Jane Eyre to take what is his, angering Gerald. Yeah, it would anger me too. So yeah, he's like, dude, did you kill her? And he's like, why, is there a will? Wow. So I could have made that shorter, but I don't know. It was hard. I try to cut it more down. It's easier when they're bigger characters because I can just say, like, they went and did all this stuff. You guys all remember. But when it's only like a couple scenes, it's like, I'll just tell you guys what happened in the one scene. And I also want enough context when I cover the show, so when I get to covering the differences, I've already kind of laid the breadcrumbs for you. All right, let's get to the book. Marriage to a Dragon. Rhea Royce was the lady of Runestone and the head of House Royce during the reign of Kings Jaehaerys I and Viserys I. I'm assuming just the end of reign of old Jerry, because she's not that old. In 97 AC, Queen Alysanne Targaryen wed her grandson Prince Daemon Targaryen to Lady Rhea Royce, the heir to Runestone. Alysanne loved making betrothals, even in her super old age. Yeah, she loved doing it. This was a bad one, though. Although the marriage was fine, rich match, the marriage was not a success. Daemon found the Vale of Arryn little to his liking and grew bored. Soon developed a dislike for his wife, holding no love or affection towards Rhea, referring to her as his bronze bitch. Hey, that's something that's similar. A mocking reference to the ancient armor of the Royces. Daemon would say that in the Vale, men are said to bang sheep instead of women because the sheep are more prettier. That's what she mentioned earlier when she brought that up during the show. Rhea likewise had no love for Daemon, and they were soon estranged. I don't blame her. I don't blame her either. Daemon's kind of a piece of crap. I said it. It's true. A crappy marriage. Shortly after 101 AC, so the Council of 101, Rhea succeeded Lord Eobert Royce as Lady of Runestone. Meanwhile, Rhea's union with Daemon proved to be barren. Upon a session of his brother, King Viserys I, in 103, I believe, Daemon petitioned the king to set aside his marriage, but Viserys denied the request. However, he did allow his brother back to return to court to serve on the small council. Back at court, Daemon acquired the Lady Mysaria as a mistress and knocked her up in 105. After Daemon attempted to give her a dragon egg, the angry Viserys demanded that Daemon return the egg and return to Rhea's unwelcomed company. Get back to the Vale. That's what he said. Daemon sent Mysaria to Lys, but Mysaria's ship sailed through a storm in the narrow sea, and Mysaria lost the child. Wow. This hardened Daemon against his brother. In 106, Daemon had once again left Rhea at Runestone. He was only home for a year. Daemon, this time to wage war over the control of the Stepstones with Lord Corlys Velaryon, declaring that he had suffered all he could in the Vale and his lady wife. Daemon later reportedly requested for his marriage to be set aside to wed his niece. What? Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, but the king exiled him for that. Hey, can I marry your daughter? Get out of here. That's what he said. He said, no, you're exiled. All right, let's get to it. Oh, never mind. I thought I deleted something. Nope, I just moved it. Okay. Death in the Vale. We made it. In 115, while she was hawking in the Vale, Lady Rhea fell from her horse and cracked her skull open on a stone. She lingered for 9 days before finally feeling well enough to leave her bed, only to collapse and die within the hour of rising. Yeah, I know what you guys are thinking. Something different. Upon learning of Rhea's death, Prince Daemon flew to Bloodstone to put his wife to rest. After arriving at the Vale, why did I say Bloodstone? Isn't it Runestone? All right, maybe it's Bloodstone. However, he claimed the lands, castles, and incomes of House Royce. Runestone passed to a nephew of Lady Rhea, however, and Daemon's claim was dismissed by the awesome Lady Jane Eyre, who warned him that he is unwelcomed in the Vale. All right, there you guys go. That's the whole story. She's a much smaller character, but I think breaking down the difference of her death is what's really important here. Again, much like Lyman Beesbury. Who knew that Rhea Royce and Lyman Beesbury would have so much in common? Differences, mostly her death. Small changes at first. Daemon not returning to Rhea after the thing with trying to give Lady Mysaria an egg and just going straight to war. So in the book, he just goes straight to, he never returns, there. He's like, hey, go home. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go to Dragonstone. He's like, go home. He's like, I'm gonna go to war. Like, yeah. So where was I? Also Mysaria likely, also, there we go. Misery is likely actually pregnant in the book, right? So in the show, she isn't, and it's this whole ruse, and he's just trying to give her a dragon egg. But really, or he's trying to marry her and give her a dragon egg. But really, in the book, she is actually pregnant. Also, Jane Eyre booting him out when he comes back after his death is left out, although it's implied that she okay, all right, sorry, it's left out. So what I meant by the Jane Eyre thing, so when it says when Rhea dies in the book, he shows up and tries to get her lands, and then Jane Eyre boots him. We don't know if that happens because it's right before the time skip in the show, and he finds out at this wedding that that she died, which in the show he kills her, and then her cousin or whatever is like, hey, did you kill her? And he's like, oh, so there's inheritance? I'll go and get it. So we don't actually know if he goes there and Jane Eyre boots him immediately. She might have, we don't know. Okay. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Also, it is implied that she is ugly in the books when Daemon makes those jokes about her, the sheep being prettier. But in the show, she is gorgeous. Yeah, no, totally. I remember when I first saw her on the show, I was like, I mean, she's more attractive than a sheep. Damn. All right. And of course, the big change, her death. It is not so clear that Daemon kills her in the books. I'm not saying that he doesn't. We'll get to that. She lives for 9 days and doesn't die until after she gets up. If she can stand, it is likely that she can talk or communicate in some other ways. And if she got her head smashed by Daemon, she would probably try to communicate that somehow. I'm not saying that this is, or that he is innocent. Maybe she fell for real and he saw an opening and he had her poisoned somehow, or maybe some faceless stuff. I don't know. Maybe she just fell and died. It happens. It's kind of up in the air. I wouldn't put it past him. It's just not so obvious in the books. What do you think? No, seriously, in the book, do you think that Daemon, the rogue prince, actually killed his wife? It's just not as obvious. Like, it's definitely convenient for him that she just died and frees him up so he can finally go marry Rhaenyra, right? So it is like convenient that it happens when it does in the books, but she gets hurt. She lives for 9 days. It's not said whether or not she can or cannot communicate. One could assume that if she can get up and walk around for an hour, that she could have at least been like, "This was Daemon." Yeah, and I'm sure somebody even asked, like, if they came across her, they're like, "Did your crappy husband do?" So, yeah, small differences of travel, when he goes back, when he doesn't go back, things like that. And of course, the death. If it is him in the books, it's definitely a lot more tricky. You know, if he is responsible, it's not as obvious as him just showing up and stamping, like crushing her head and then flying away. Which I maintain would have been really difficult, like, especially since, like, if people saw a dragon fly into the Vale, people are gonna notice. You know, he would have had to do some stealthy stuff. That hood, it was really, really good. It was a good hood. All right. Thank you guys for watching. This is a lot shorter than my Tyene Sand one. That's good. Just fun little characters. So I did put out a poll to cover 3, like, every 4. Let's talk about the differences I have in my head. I put out a poll and then I kind of let you guys choose the order because I don't know what's wanted and what's not, which means Meryn Trant is coming up next. So it went who was the first one? Randall Tarley was my number 1, and then after that, Tyene Sand, and then now Rhea Royce, and now Meryn Trant. Yay! will be the next. Yay! It will be the next character I cover. It's gonna be fantastic. Oh, everyone loves Meryn Trant. What do you think of the murder? It's a good. What do you get sick of murder? That's lame, isn't it? All right. Do you think that Daemon did it? Do you think that he didn't in the books? It's clear that he did in the show. All right. Thank you. Click like, subscribe if you've never been here before. I'm sure you're confused. Why is this guy yelling and screaming? Well, that's what I do. So yeah, click like, subscribe, and let me know of a character that you want me to cover. Can't be a POV character. It just can't be too big. I know somebody's gonna be like, "Well, the Hound isn't a POV character." I'm covering the Hound. You know enough about the Hound. It's supposed to be smaller characters I can teach people about. I can't teach you guys if it's like, "Hey, Tywin's never been POV." Everyone knows about Tywin. Like, there's been countless videos breaking down Tywin. Not a lot for Rhea Royce, maybe a couple. Definitely not enough about Meryn Trant. Oh my God, I don't want to write that. Okay, see you guys later.